Okay, so today we're doing a deep dive into a really specific business relationship. It's between HDTV Supply and Shinybow. HDTV Supply, they're listed in our sources as a platinum authorized reseller, one of the oldest ones. And our mission here is to figure out what this long partnership, like decades long, actually means for you, the buyer, especially with complex tech.
Right. It's not just any partnership. We're talking 20 years, maybe more. Since 2002, I think. And there's this phrase that pops up, CEO to CEO relationship. It sounds impressive, but yeah, why should the person buying the equipment care about that history?
That's exactly the question we want to unpack. The sources suggest it matters because, well, the whole thing started because HDTV Supply had these super high standards from the get-go. They talked about strict demands, things like unique products, support that's actually helpful. Flawless is the word they use, and of course, fair pricing. Shinybow was apparently the first company that ticked all those boxes for them.
Exactly. So it wasn't just, a quick deal. It sounds like it was built on Shinybow, proving they could meet a pretty high bar, and they've kept meeting it. There's also a mention about keeping personal info shared between them absolutely private. That adds a layer of trust, maybe data security, which is pretty important these days, especially for institutional buyers.
Yeah, good point. And what's really interesting is how that trust seems to translate into real benefits for the end user. Like, because HDTV Supply has this platinum status, you automatically get a 3-year warranty from Shinybow. That's solid. But the kicker seems to be the support. Free, US-based, lifetime tech support over the phone from HDTV Supply themselves.
That lifetime support promise is huge. You don't see that often, especially with, gear that gets integrated into bigger systems and might be used for years and years. They even mention a text-based support line, which feels pretty current, right? Adapting to how people actually want help sometimes.
Right. Now let's switch gears a bit to the institutional side. This is key for government buyers, schools, military, that sort of thing. This long partnership ensures the gear you get from HDTV Supply is TAA compliant.
And TAA compliance, just for anyone who doesn't deal with it daily, that's the Trade Agreements Act. It's a U.S. government thing. It basically means the products have to be made or substantially transformed in the U.S. or specific designated countries. It really limits your options. So having a reliable source like HDTV Supply for TAA gear is a big deal logistically. It guarantees where it came from and that it's eligible for government purchase.
Guarantees the supply chain, essentially. And they even incentivize it. The sources say accounts with .gov, .mil, .edu, or .org emails get extra discounts automatically. So they're directly rewarding that institutional customer base.
Okay, so that brings us to the actual hardware this partnership supports. Let's look at the Shinybow SB-5684K. This is a professional piece of kit, an 8-input, 4-output HDMI Matrix routing switch. Handles UHD 4K 2K video, definitely not consumer grade.
Yeah, you can see the standards showing up in the specs. It supports 4K resolution, specifically 4K 2K at 30 Hz. Also handles HDMI 1.4A 3D formats, and importantly, it has full EDID management and learning capabilities.
EDID, yeah, that's a really critical detail. EDID is like the digital handshake between your source device, like a Blu-ray player, and your display. It tells the source what the display can handle. When that handshake breaks, which happens all the time in complex setups, things go wrong. So having dedicated EDID management built into the switch, that actively prevents a major pain point. It helps ensure you actually get a picture reliably.
Makes sense. And you can tell it's meant for serious installations by looking at the control options. It's not just buttons on the front or a basic IR remote. You've got RS-232, which is a classic industrial control port.
Yeah.
And you also get full Ethernet control using TCP/IP.
Oh, right. The TCP/IP control is key for modern setups. It means you can integrate the switch into automation systems, think Crestron, AMX, that sort of thing. It usually comes with software, like a Windows GUI, to manage it over the network. So it's not just a standalone box. It becomes part of a bigger controllable system.
And pushing all that high-res video around needs power. The specs mention built-in video boosting. It can apparently drive a 1080p signal up to, 98 feet, and even 4K signals up to 66 feet. That helps maintain signal quality over longer cable runs.
So let's tie this all together. What this analysis seems to show is that a reseller like HDTV Supply, especially one designated as Platinum Authorized, isn't just moving boxes. You're buying into this whole structure. It guarantees things like TAA compliance for government jobs. It delivers technically sophisticated hardware with features like that ED management, and it backs it all up with a serious commitment to support, like that lifetime tech help. The quality of the partnership really seems to define the entire ownership experience.
Which leaves us with a pretty interesting thought, doesn't it? When you're looking at high-end, complex AV gear, how much weight do you actually put on that decades-long commitment? You know, that promise of flawless support and guaranteed compliance versus just looking for the absolute rock-bottom price tag. Something to maybe think about next time you're comparing spec sheets and considering the real cost if something goes wrong down the line.